If you often find yourself getting scored on a lot and not being able to read an attack when your teammate is up the field, then you've come to the right place. In today's video, I will be teaching you how to play good defense like the pros of today. That way you can start winning more of your games and improve a lot faster. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Alright, so the main thing I'm going to be talking about in this video is shadow defending, because there's a lot that goes into shadow defending, and it's like the number one thing that all the pros are using when they're playing defense, and it helps them get easy saves and quickly make a break for an attack. But I will also be going over how you can bring it into your ones games or your ranked games, and then I'll be going over trading packs. As you can see, I'm currently champ 1 in 1s and GC in 2s. We just got these ranks on stream the other day live on my Twitch. Definitely go follow. The link will be in the description down below. So yeah, defense really helped me get these ranks really early on in the season, and hopefully after this video it will help you guys out as well. So how do you shadow defend? I'm going to break it down in a few simple sections, and you can use the time codes in the description, or you can use the time codes on the timeline of the video to find certain portions of the video. But I do recommend that you watch the entire thing, because I personally needed all of these tips when I was learning how to shadow defend, so I feel like it would help you as well. But let's start with spacing. Now, what does that mean? Spacing when you're shadow defending means to stay close, but to also close the distance between you and your opponent. Now, when you're spacing, you want to make sure that you're mirroring your opponent's movements, and by doing this, you got to look at when they're turning left or right, try to mimic it like that, and then also seeing when they jump up for a ball. I tried to jump up around the time that he did, boom, and then you get the easy save, right? But it also means to try to stay close and close the distance between you and your opponent. My opponent and I were pretty far away from each other, but I knew that I was in a very awkward position if I were to push this ball right here. He's in a much more comfortable position to go for an attack on the play, right? So I kind of stay close to the ball because I know that that's where my opponent is going to end up. I stay close and I make sure I'm closing the distance, letting him get closer to me, and then I get an easy save. Now, the reason for staying at a good distance is to make sure that you can react to any situation and challenge the ball when they mess up, but to also jump up for a save when they get a nice flick over you or they take a power shot, right? Now, here's another example. My opponent is super far away, and I make sure I look at the few things that I told you guys just now. I want to make sure that I'm closing the distance and I'm letting myself get closer to his play. But while I'm doing this, I also want to make sure that I'm mimicking his movement when he shifts left or right, or when he jumps or cuts. So look, he's getting closer, but I'm also kind of mirroring his movement here, right? Boom, he turns, and then he jumps, and then I jump and take a free save, just like so. Now, in the high ranks, people are able to recover from this, but it's also not an easy task. When you're playing good shadow defense and you clear a good ball and you get a nice save, most of the time your opponent is already behind you and you'll have a free attack on the play, and it should almost be a free goal every single time if you do it right and you do it really well as well. Now we're going to go over 3 things to always look at when you are shadowing, along with the stuff that I mentioned before, and that's how fast they're moving, do they have control of the ball, and how close they are to your goal. So immediately off jump here, we can see that he is not close to my goal. He's pretty far. We're all the way on his side, so this makes the save a lot easier on us, right? Now we got to look at how fast they're moving and do they have complete control of the ball. Right here, boom, he has decent control of the ball, really good dribble, so I know that I have to be very patient here and I have to match his movements as best as I can. But I'm also looking at how fast they're moving, right? He's moving pretty fast here, so now I have to match the speed of how fast he's going, or try to be faster even, to make sure that I'm being a good shadow, right? He's taking a dribble, but remember, like we saw before, he was not close to my net, so he doesn't have much that he can do, right? He can only dribble, maybe an air dribble bump. So what you do in this scenario is you just wait patiently, you sit on the ground, wait for his play to finish, because again, there's not much they can do from an air dribble from that far, especially from the ground. There's not much that they can do. So if you stay patient, you sit on the floor, or even you jump up and kind of mimic their aerial movement, that will also work out, and it'll just give you an easy save. You don't gotta panic, just keep the game simple, and then you'll get that easy clear. Now you might be wondering, when do you want to challenge? Challenging a ball is a very important thing to know when you're playing ones. And to keep it short and sweet, you only want to challenge when you can notice that they've lost control of the ball, or when you know that they're in a very awkward position for an attack. But what happens if they don't mess up, right? What happens if there's not a time that they mess up on the ball and they get a good flick like this guy right here? That's okay. As long as you do the few things that I told you before and you shadow really well, you can just challenge when he lets that flick off, because like we said before, you're already at a good spacing, you've already mirrored his movements very well, you're being a really good shadow already as it is. So when he takes that flick, boom, it just becomes an easy save every single time. So challenge when they mess up, challenge when they let off their attack like a power shot or a flick. While they might do it really well, if you shadow better and you play better defense, they almost shouldn't score on you at all. Now, another huge tip that I find in a lot of low rank players games when I review their replays and stuff like that. By the way, if you want me to review your replay or you want me to play casual with you, do some little coaching, give you some tips, definitely go join up the Discord and stop by my streams and you can just ask. And I'll definitely be down for that, man. I love being able to help you guys rank up. But back to the video. The big thing that I always see people messing up on is where they're positioned in relation to the player and in relation to their net. So right here in the shadow, you'll start to notice that in every example I've shown you guys, I'm always on the outside of the player and the net, right? So let's try to get a good angle. So if we're looking at this replay right now, we can see that my opponent and my net are both on the inside of where I am on the field. They're on the inside of the field while I'm kind of on the outside. Now, why do you do this? So as the play is going on, I'm staying on the outside, and this is very important because if the opponent gets behind you and he's over here, you're in a very, very tough position to save the ball, because now he has more than one option. If you keep him on the inside of the field and you stay on the outside of the entire play in relation to him in the net, he's only got one, maybe two options, and that's to just shoot at the net or flick directly at the net. But you're already sitting at the far post, getting ready to save wherever the ball goes. If he gets behind you and you find yourself sitting in this situation in the net, he can just flick it right behind you, and then it becomes very, very, very awkward to save. That's why staying on the outside of the play limits the opponent's options and gives you a much easier save, and you become a much better shadow, like so. You can see he takes his flick, but he can only flick it toward the net, right? You're on the outside of the net, and you don't have to do a backflip. You don't have to change direction that much. You just have to stay on the outside. That way, when he flicks, you can just jump up for the save. You must stay on the outside when you're being a shadow, because you don't want to end up getting it flicked behind. Now, let's say I was in the inside and I was like maybe right here, and he jumps up and takes that flick. I'm standing over here, and the ball just went behind me toward the top corner, and it's going to be very hard for me to save. You know what I mean? So when you stay on the outside, it limits the player's options, and they can only flick toward the net because they're trying to score. So when you anticipate that and you stay on the outside, saving a ball is so much easier than when you're on the inside. Same thing right here. I'm on the outside of the play. He's up on the ball. He can only dribble to my net. You know what I'm saying? He can only dribble to my net. If he dribbles to the backboard, it kind of makes no sense because you're trying to score in ones. You know what I mean? He can only dribble one place, and he only has one option to go, only one lane. And if you're staying on the outside of the play, right here, boom, you just have an easier save because you only have to jump one way and save it. Boom. Here's another example. I'm on the outside. I'm mirroring his movement, having good spacing, looking at the stuff that I mentioned before, and he only has one option. Telling you guys, it works every single time. So that will basically conclude the shadow defending part of the video, kind of like the big chunk of the video. But now the big question is, how do I train this, or when do I use this in game? I've got training packs that help me with my defense and help me learn and improve it, but we'll touch on that a little later. The better answer, or really the only answer that you guys should be doing when it comes to training the shadow defense and defense in general, is playing ones. That's as simple as I can put it, because ones is literally a 1v1, and it gives you guys the most opportunities to put yourself in a shadow defense situation and to train it and improve it. You guys have to play ones with a lot of the stuff you do, because it's the best mode to improve on anything. We'll go into a ones game right now and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Because yeah, it's okay to train it in training, but you're not really getting the real thing. You know what I mean? You're not getting that live scenario, and you're not put under those pressure high situations. So right here, I'm gonna put myself in a shadow situation. I got scored on, but that's okay, because that's how you learn. You guys have to be ready to fail at this, and you guys have to know that you're going to fail along the way. He had a really good musty flick there, and I probably could have got the save if I would have used a flip, but it's just little things like that that goes on in your mind that help you improve for the future. You know what I mean? Now right here, I'm finding myself in another shadow situation. The ball is rolling, so really I can challenge whenever I want, like right here. Because when the ball is rolling, they normally, they don't have complete control over the ball, and that's one of the things that I taught you guys to look at in the shadow defense part of the video. Right here, I'm in another shadow defense situation. Remember, I stay on the outside, so it makes saving a ball a lot easier. He only has one option. That's why I'm telling you guys, playing ones is the best way to learn defense, and you find yourself in a lot of situations where you have to end up saving a ball. And if you play it well, you get free goals like so, and it helps you win your games a lot faster. It's just a really good mode to practice it, man. It's just, ones is really the only way to train it, Now, if you did want to train this in training, or you want to do those training packs, I got 5 from another video that I'll leave linked in the description down below, where he goes into more detail on what each training pack is used for, but I'll try to summarize it in short in this video. But the 5 training packs, starting with the first one, is Kevpert's wall power clears. And this is, as the title mentions, just wall clears, you know what I mean? This was very, very helpful for me when I was learning, because I actually used to use this pack a lot when I was around Diamond Plat, and it just has a lot of variety, you know what I mean? It puts you in the best scenarios possible for learning how to use the wall to your advantage when it comes to defense, and learning these clears helps out a lot in games. So I just think it's a all in all wonderful pack to use when you want to learn how to get better on the wall. Now, if you're willing to do 50 shots, be my guest, but if you also want to reduce that amount of time and only do like maybe 10 shots, and this is the training pack for you as well. This is just 10 defenses to master. It keeps that variety of saves in one pack, but also keeping it very, very short, putting you in the best scenarios possible. like this one right here. And it's just really good to train because, you know, you're put in this situation a lot in games, and learning that speed, getting back to the net, being able to save a ball is very important when it comes to games. So if you want a shorter training pack that covers as much as possible and a lot of in-game scenarios, this is the pack for you. Now on to the next pack. This one is also a big pack, but it's not all 50 shots. This is called saves, and it's just everything you need, man. It starts from level 0 all the way to like the top level saves. You know, it's very simple stuff, and then it gets harder and harder. I think this is good for players of all ranks, and I think it's very good for wanting to improve every single aspect of saving that there is in the game. So if you want a training pack that gives you a lot of variety and also keeps you on your toes to save a ball with very fast reflexes, very fast reaction, then this is definitely the pack for you as well. Now this is where it starts to get harder, right? These are the training packs that are for more mid to high rank players who have played the game for much longer, and they just need a training pack that keeps them rolling, keeps them going fast, you know, make sure that they put themselves in the best in-game scenarios possible. This is the pack for you. It's called Insane Defense, and I didn't mention this, but I will be leaving all the training pack codes in the description down below. But as it mentions, Insane Defense, you got to be able to do mechanics such as like speed flipping, half flipping, like so. You got to be able to do those types of mechanics for this training pack. And then for the 5th and final training pack called Defensive Backboard Reads, because players are often put in a situation, like let's say they're playing twos, where your opponent is getting ready to pass your teammate, so they light it up at the backboard, forcing you to save the ball, or else you'll get scored on by the other opponent. This is kind of that training pack that helps you train those specific scenarios, but it's also very hard to keep up with. As you can see, I'm not perfect at it yet, but I'm still learning how to get better at it. It just helps you read a ball when it gets thrown at the backboard. It helps you read those scenarios that could be used against you in game. This is very good for high rank players as well. I found this pack at first very hard to do, very hard to complete. But over time, as I got better at it, the more I found myself being a lot better at defense. So this is definitely one of the most helpful training packs for me, and could be the most helpful for you as well if you want to train this in training. But as I mentioned before, the best teacher when it comes to training this type of stuff is ones. Definitely the best mode out there when it comes to training defense or just your solo mechanics as a whole. So I'd say play a lot of ones and just look at what you're doing wrong, maybe come up with what you could do better to help yourself out. I hope this video helps you out as well. That's going to conclude the training packs. That's basically it. That's basically everything I need to touch on in this video. I hope it helped you guys out. I hope you guys learned how to play much better defense in your games, and it helps you see opponents' goals much less in your games. You know what I mean? If you guys want any videos and anything else that you guys need help with, definitely write it in the comments down below, or join my Discord and write it down on the video ideas channel. That's where I mainly write down a lot of you guys' ideas, because you know I get a lot of comments about video ideas and it's hard to keep up with. That's why I kind of like to put it in that channel, because I can go look back at it and write stuff down that you guys would like to see on the channel. We're going to be starting Road to GC very soon, so stay tuned for that. I'm just getting my account ready for it, and I'm also always live on Twitch, so if you guys want to stop by and see my ranked games, watch me talk about gameplay and try to help you guys out as much as I can, maybe I can do, you know, casual with you guys and help you out. I do replay reviews. I also do viewer tournaments. I just try to do a lot of stuff that engages with you guys, you know what I mean? The link will be in the description down below, so definitely join that as well. You don't want to miss it. We also made it to 8,000 subs. I really appreciate the support that's been on the channel lately. It's been so crazy. I think I just mentioned it last video that we were almost there, and then this video we got it. We're already past that. We're at like 8.1, so it definitely does mean a lot from you guys. I'm a little bit sick this morning, so bear with me here, but when am I not sick, right? Anyways, I hope this guide helped out. Again, if you want to see different types of content on the channel, write it in the comments down below. If you guys want me to touch on anything else that would help you guys out in your games, write it down as well. Join my Discord, join my Twitch, and I'm also posting on TikTok a lot more as well, so definitely check that out as well. I'll be posting TikTok clips and stuff like that. We might be going live soon on it, and it's just a fun time over there, man. I'll also be leaving the other tutorials that I found helpful to me in the description down below if they touch on anything else in better detail. That'll be all for today. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, because we're on the road to 10K subs, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace out.